Hey guys, and welcome back to the next episode of a series designed to teach you the basics of Arena of Valor. Now in 10 minutes I'm going to go in depth about literally everything you need to know about creeps, gold and experience. So once again I'm going to make things easy and outline everything we'll be talking about today. Firstly, I'll quickly go over what exactly gold and experience are in Arena of Valor. This won't take long because these two things are fairly straightforward. I'll be going in depth about items in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Then, I'm going to go in depth about all the different types of creeps in the game. Yes, this includes the Abyssal Dragon and the Dark Slayer, which were mentioned in the last video. So, let's jump right in and start with experience. So first up, what is experience? To put it simply, experience is part of your hero's progression during a match. Your hero's level is displayed by this number above your head here. Whenever you are near or kill something in the game, this yellow bar will fill up. Once the yellow bar fills up completely, your hero will level up. Whenever a hero levels up, all of their stats such as damage, armor and HP will increase. You will also gain a skill point which you can then use to level up one of your spells in order to make it more powerful. The maximum level you can reach during a match is 15. Now let's quickly talk about gold. Gold is the second part of your hero's progression during a game. To put it simply, killing anything in the game, whether it be creeps, towers or players, will grant you gold. This gold is then used to purchase items which increase your hero's strength. Don't worry guys, in the next video I'll be going completely in depth about the ins and outs of items in Arena of Valor. Now the only real thing you need to remember about gold is that you will always get more gold for being the hero that kills something in the game rather than just being near it while it's being killed. Here's an example of the difference in gold between killing this creep and being near it when it dies. For the most part, don't stress over whether or not you are killing the creeps as a beginner because the gold difference isn't that big as you can see here. Okay, let's get started with creeps. I'm going to cover all the jungle creeps first. First up we have the Sage Golem. This is the blue coloured jungle creep that spawns in the jungle next to your top lane. Now killing this jungle creep at level 1 will instantly level you up to level 2, as well as providing your character with a temporary buff which decreases your spell cooldowns as well as increasing your mana regeneration rate. What this means is that you can use your spells more often as well as basically stay at near full mana whilst the buff is in effect. Don't forget, if you are killed by an enemy player while you have this buff, then the buff will transfer over to that player's hero. Next up we have the Might Golem. This is the red coloured creep that spawns in the jungle area next to your bottom lane. Killing this creep is similar to the Sage Golem in the sense that if you kill it at level 1, you will be leveled to level 2 when you kill it by yourself. The difference is that the buff it provides is slightly different to the blue buff. This buff causes your character's attacks to slow the enemy that you attack, as well as place a burning effect on them, dealing damage over time. Now the same rules apply here. If you are killed by an enemy player, the buff will transfer over to their hero. Now some final things to remember about these creeps guys. After killing these creeps, the buff you receive will last for 70 seconds. And once you kill these creeps, they will respawn in the exact same spot 90 seconds after the point at which you killed them. Now the last jungle creeps we have are the small creeps, often referred to as the small camps. First we have the lizard and the ranged spider, located next to the Sage Golem. We then have the wolf and the ranged tribesman, located next to the Might Golem. These 4 creeps give a smaller amount of experience and gold and do not provide any extra bonuses compared to their golem counterparts, but are nonetheless a good source of income, especially if you take all of them constantly during a match. These small camps will respawn 70 seconds after being killed. Next up is the lane creeps. As described in the last video, every 30 seconds a wave of 3 creeps will spawn in each lane and run towards the enemy's tower. These will most likely be your main source of gold throughout the game. These creeps consist of 2 melee creeps and 1 range creep. There's nothing much to know about them apart from the fact that the red team's 2 melee creeps, after clashing with the blue team's creeps, will rush towards the blue team's range creep. Keep this in mind if you are playing a mage type hero that relies on AoE spells to damage the creep wave. Now when the game timer hits 5 minutes and 10 seconds, you'll see this message come up on your screen. This basically means that the ranged creep in every wave has been replaced by a siege creep. These creeps have more HP than the ranged creep and do a very large amount of damage to towers. These creeps basically cause lanes to push faster, thus increasing the pace of the game. Now we're going to move on to the objective creeps. First up are the vision birds. There are 2 vision birds on the map, one located at the very top of the map's river and the other located at the very bottom of the map's river. The reward for killing these vision birds is a small amount of golden experience, as well as that after they are killed, they turn into a moving circle that will patrol your enemy's jungle, providing vision of the area that they covered during their patrol. This can give you valuable information like what camps are still alive in the enemy's jungle, or more importantly, you might be able to get vision of enemy players coming to gank you in your lane. Killing the top lane bird will cause it to patrol the enemy's top lane side of the jungle, whereas killing the bottom lane bird will cause it to patrol the enemy's bottom lane side jungle. These vision birds will respawn 60 seconds after the point at which they are killed. Now we have the Spirit Sentinel. This creep looks like a large bat and spawns right opposite the Dark Slayer at the 1 minute and 50 second mark. This objective creep gives a decent amount of golden experience, whilst also giving the player that kills it a buff that increases their HP regeneration rate whilst out of combat, as well as their movement speed. This buff is ideal for roaming heroes as it allows them to move faster around the map as well as keep their HP somewhat full. It can usually be killed by a single hero, so try to kill this whenever it spawns. The buff received from killing this creep lasts for 1 minute, and the creep respawns 2 minutes after being killed. Okay guys, we're up to our last 2 objective creeps, which we've talked about briefly in the last video. First off, we have the Abyssal Dragon. This creep spawns at the 2 minute mark and usually requires the help of at least one teammate in order to kill safely. However, there are some heroes that are capable of killing it by themselves at level 4, such as Butterfly, Lubu, Fennec, and Cricknack. Have a try with these heroes in practice games, and try with others and see how much you can actually accomplish in terms of soloing the dragon. Now, killing this creep gives every player on your team a large sum of both gold and experience. As mentioned in the last video, this is the main objective that helps make your team stronger than the enemy team in the early phase of the game, so killing this creep whenever it's alive is fairly important. The Abyssal Dragon respawns 2 minutes after the point at which it was killed. Last up we have the Dark Slayer, which helps your team strike that final killing blow on the enemy team, or can sometimes help you when your team is behind the enemy during a match. This large ape-looking creep spawns from the 8 minute mark. It almost always requires multiple teammates to kill safely. Now be careful with this creep as it performs a deadly knock-up attack which can sometimes catch you off guard and maybe even kill you if you aren't paying attention. Killing this creep gives every player on your team a buff which increases all of the damage you do by a massive 30%, as well as provides a small increase in your HP and mana regeneration. Now just be aware that although this buff heavily increases your damage output, it doesn't really do much for you defensively. So if you were caught out by the enemy team and focused down, you'll probably die just as fast as if you didn't have the buff. This buff lasts for 90 seconds and will instantly be removed if you are killed. The Dark Slayer respawns 6 minutes after the point at which it was killed. Now before we finish up guys, there's one more thing to remember. When attacking any kind of jungle or objective creep, do not let it walk outside of its jungle cone. You'll know if this happens when the cone turns red like this. If this happens, the creeper will begin running back to where it spawned and recover its HP as well, basically wasting your time. And that's it guys, we are done. 10 minutes was all it took to learn everything you need to know about creeps, gold and experience in Arena of Valor. Yes, this was a lot of information to take in, so don't hesitate to look back on it whenever you need to refresh your memory on anything that we covered in the video. After all, this series is meant to be one big guide that you can always refer to if you ever need to. Now in the next video, we're going to go really in depth about the item system in Arena of Valor, so stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, I'd appreciate it if you could like or subscribe to my channel. Feel free to mention any topics that you'd like to cover in future videos in the comments section below. That's all for now guys, and I'll see you next time.